Hello, welcome, and listen in to this review of the novel Coming to Birth, written by Marjorie Oludhe Macgoye. Coming to Birth is a novel by Marjorie Oludhe Macgoye, first published in 1986. Marjorie moved and settled in Kenya during her early adulthood years and was quickly integrated into the Luo culture, which is one of the largest ethnic groups in Kenya and part of the larger African culture. She quickly learnt the way of life, traditions, and customs of the Luo community in the course of her marriage to DGW Macgoye. The novel gives a clear indication of her experiences in the Luo cultural setting, as she also sheds light on the events happening in the larger Kenyan society. Now let's look at the plot of the novel. The storyline in the novel follows Kenya's growth as a young independent nation. The political narrative runs alongside a tale of two young people in love, Martin and Paulina. They are the main characters in the novel, and their lives are seen to change as the events and happenings of the storyline shift and turn. Martin belongs to the working class in society, while Paulina is at first portrayed as a naive young lady with little experience in the ways of the city. The novel opens with the introduction of Martin to the reader. Martin is presented as a member of the educated middle working class in Kenyan society and is in every way a perfect depiction of a young man with a successful life laid before him. Paulina, who is barely out of her teens and wife to Martin Ware, is also introduced at the beginning of the novel. She is depicted as naive and ignorant to the ways of the city. The storyline of the novel follows the life of this young couple who experience the ups and downs of marital life, with childlessness being the main negatively impacting force on their marriage. The love between Paulina and Martin captures the reader's attention. Neither Martin nor Paulina openly express their affection to each other, but through spontaneous acts of kindness, as seen from Martin to Paulina, revealing the presence of love. At the beginning of the novel, their love is young and innocent, but as time passes, their love is put to the test. The couple faces the challenge of childlessness in marriage. The marriage does not stand. Paulina is not able to sustain pregnancy full term and experiences miscarriage several times. Martin is frustrated by his numerous yet unsuccessful attempts of siring a child with Paulina. They eventually separate, and Martin engages in extramarital affairs. The story of Kenya's coming to birth is marked by the coming of Uhuru and heightened expectations of the newfound freedom. However, dissatisfaction grows steadily as political assassinations of senior political officers in the reigning government continue to take place. Riots and chaos characterize Kenya's political space. In the course of the separation between Martin and Paulina, each of them attempts to have a child with other partners. Paulina gets a child with Simon and names the child Okeo. Perhaps the child's naming is a way of reminding her of the commitment she made to Martin. Unfortunately, the child dies during political protests in Kisumu. Martin fails in his attempts to sire a child with other ladies. Later, Paulina and Martin are seen to end their separation and come back together. Paulina is no longer the naive lady seen at the beginning of the novel, and Martin is no longer the confident and in-control man depicted at the beginning of the story. The ups and downs of their marriage have shaped them into becoming different individuals. Paulina is empowered and able to voice her stand. Martin seems passive to the political and social events around him, a near state of disillusionment. The hope of achieving the true meaning of freedom and independent Kenya is finally coming to birth. Citizens have the hope for a new turn in leadership. Events in the novel turn for the better when Paulina informs Martin of her pregnancy. She is pregnant with Martin and is happy about it. However, she recounts her past miscarriages and decides to hold her joy yet. She politely cautions Martin about being overjoyed at the thought of having a child, but under the same breath expresses her optimism of a promising future. Kenya is also coming to birth, with the experience of stability in the political domain. The marriage between Martin and Paulina seems to stabilize at last. Symbolically, the author offers hope for a politically stable and peaceful Kenya, as seen between Martin and Paulina. Having looked at the plot of the novel, let's now proceed to the review. Marjorie Oludhe Macgoye works skillfully to weave the narrative of Martin and Paulina's experiences in marriage with that of Kenya as a young developing country. The struggles that Martin and Paulina face in their marriage, mainly through the state of childlessness, give an impression of the disillusionment faced by citizens in the hope that they will enjoy their newfound freedom in the country. The hopelessness and despair seen in the relationship between Martin and Paulina are similar to that of prevailing politics in the country, the citizens seemingly protest for getting less than what they bargained for, and neo-colonialism is most likely to take center stage in Kenya as a young independent nation, in the same way that Martin and Paulina are seen to reconcile and nurture the hope of having a child together. So does Marjorie shows the possibility of citizens experiencing the reality of freedom in their country. Freedom and joy seemingly come after trying times, which also serve to make the characters in the novel stronger and independent. The employment of imagery and ideas that are relative to the African experience lays the foundation for the success of Marjorie's work. It is a masterpiece written simply, clearly, and skillfully to communicate the author's thoughts and experiences concerning culture, politics, and the influence of cultural traditions. In the last part of this review, let's now look at some of the themes that emerge in the narrative. 1. Male dominance. Men are perceived as holding positions of influence in society. Paulina's interaction with each male character involves subjection to social ideologies that place the lady in a lower position of privilege than the man. 2. Feminism. The ladies in the novel are seen to evolve positively throughout the novel, sometimes almost at the expense of the men's well-being. 3. Political betrayal. The prevailing politics in the country lead to disillusioned citizens. The initial hope placed on the government has diminished, and resentment towards the government's approach to leadership continues to increase. 4. Perseverance. Perseverance is depicted in Paulina's development into an independent lady. She gracefully overcomes the numerous challenges that come her way and proceeds to have the life she wanted. 5. Marital unfaithfulness. Several characters engage in extramarital affairs. They darken the image of their marriage unions through engagement in marital unfaithfulness. 6. Disillusionment. This sets in when life takes a different turn from that which the character expected their life would take. Martin sets a clear example of disillusionment when politics in the country seem to deteriorate. He seems unhappy and has little interest in the social and political activities in life. I hope you have enjoyed listening to this review. To read more reviews like this, check out africanliteraturereviews.wordpress.com. Also, feel free to share your thoughts and ideas about this review. Goodbye.